Hello friends, my name is Brittany Timberlake. Welcome to my channel. It is so nice of you to join me for your yin yoga practice today. I'd like to hold space for you so that you can tap into your physical body, your mental body, emotional, energetic body. Just tap into the whole thing so ultimately you can leave your mat feeling like you've refilled your cup, so that when we refill our cup, that spills out into all of the other relationships, all of the other people that we deal with every day. So for this practice, it would be great if you had a bolster, 2 blocks, and a blanket. It's okay if you don't have all of these things. I'm just going to offer some extra options with the bolster today, because when I sit down for my practice and I want to feel kind of taken care of or supported, I like having my bolster close by. So we'll begin seated. You can fold up your blanket and place that underneath your hips. And I'll take this time, as always, just to arrive. You might like to close your eyes or just have a soft gaze somewhere on the floor. Allowing the spine to feel so tall, the crown of the head reaching up, lifting up towards the sky. Feeling the palms of your hands just resting comfortably on your thighs. And as the spine is lifting up, the hips and the legs are heavy and rooting down into the earth. Taking notice of your breath. What's the quality of your breath today? Noticing its texture. How does it feel moving in and out of the nose? And are you breathing down into your collarbones, your chest, or your belly? Just taking it all in, observing the breath. And on your next breath in, allow the air to travel a little bit deeper down into the depths of the belly. So you feel all 4 walls of the abdomen expand. And then slightly constrict on the breath out. Breathing into the belly. Breathing out from the belly. Softening through your face. Relaxing the shoulder blades down and away from your ears. So now that we have arrived in the physical body, just taking note of what's going on in the mental body and observing whatever thoughts or emotions are whirling around in the mind. And then setting the intention for this practice to just take this one breath at a time, one thought at a time, going easy on yourself, taking care of yourself. And then opening your eyes if they're closed. We'll move into our first shape. So we'll come into half butterfly, extending the right leg out long, bending the left knee and just letting the knee fall out to the side. You could have a block as a support underneath the knee. You could have a block or a blanket underneath the extended right knee. I'll take a deep breath in, and then on the exhale, starting to hinge forward. And you can choose where the torso is in relation to that extended leg. You could always bring a twist into this. So using your bolster, you could have your right elbow on the bolster, just resting your head on your hand. Always an option to take the left arm up and over. So choosing how you want to have your torso. And not going too deep, too quickly. Allowing there to be a softening of the muscular effort through the targeted area of the back of the right leg, the hips, and all the way up the spine. very slowly starting to rebuild the spine, allowing for a pause at the top. And you could use the right hand to help bend the right knee. And just leaning back onto the hands. You could take your feet out a little bit wider. And then just let the knees fall from side to side. Allowing the transitions between the shapes to be slow and mindful. And then we'll set up for half butterfly on the other side. Extending that left leg out long, having the right sole of the foot anywhere to the inner left leg. And then just taking your time to decide where you want the torso to come down. So you take that deep breath in, and then exhaling, coming forward. Remembering that you don't have to look the same on this side. You probably won't. You could use your bolster to the inner, outer, extended leg, bringing a bit of a twist into the spine. So as you start to settle in, take notice of the sensations that you're feeling in the body. And then maybe the areas that you're feeling quite a bit of sensation, like the backs of the legs and the hamstrings or in through the hips. Could you possibly send your breath all the way down into those areas? The inhales creating space, and on the exhales releasing a little bit more of that stress or tension type feeling. slowly releasing, allowing the head to come up last. Pausing at the top. Noticing the space of stillness between the inhale and the exhale. The left hand reaching for the left knee, helping the leg to bend, gently leaning back, and then letting the knees fall side to side. If you're new to Yin, it's very normal that in a practice like this, you could feel agitated or bored or even angry, because it's so rare that we take the time to slow down. You know, in a society or culture that praises busyness, it can really be a radical form of self-love to slow down and listen to your body and your mind. So the next shape that we'll move into is a wide-legged fold, so Dragonfly. And this doesn't have to be super wide, just enough that you get some sensation through the inner thighs, backs of the legs. I like to just offer the option of using some props for this. So having your bolster on an incline, so you could take one block at its tallest height and another block just in front of it at a lower height, and lean the bolster on there. So you have this nice incline. This might be just a nice way to feel supported as you come forward. It's a nice reminder for myself to not go so deep, so quick. So we're still looking for that sensation through the back of the legs. But as we rest onto the bolster, there could be a feeling of, oh, I don't have to hold on. I don't have to hold myself up. Allowing there to feel like a sense of self-care. Starting to bring a little bit of weight into your fingertips and your hands, pressing your way all the way up. Reconnecting to your breath if you've lost that connection. Returning to this present moment. And again, just leaning back, bending the knees, allowing the knees to fall from side to side. And it might even feel nice to just lift up through the chest, allowing the shoulder blades to kiss together, looking up to the sky. And then wrapping your arms around your legs, give yourself a squeeze, a hug. Take a moment and maybe reflect on one thing that you really love about yourself. And then releasing the legs, we're going to come into just one more forward fold. So if you have your bolster and blocks set up, try to leave them as they are. You're just going to kind of sneak the soles of your feet together as we come into a butterfly shape. And then walking the bolster in towards you, and then you can set up the blocks again as needed. So if this is something that feels comfortable for you, just starting to come forward. You might like to stay more upright with support underneath the knees. That's cool too. So starting to come forward, looking for that kind of Goldilocks feeling of sensation through the inner thighs, lower back. butterflies. Let's take our time to release. And we'll place any props that you were using just off to this side, and we'll come to lay down on our backs just for a few moments, allowing for space and time, feeling the rebound. You could be feeling kind of an electrical, tingly, pulsing sensation ebbing and flowing throughout the body. All of these shapes that we take, we're compressing and stretching the deeper layers of connective tissue and fascia, and then ultimately balancing chi flow or energy flow throughout the body. Bending your knees, bringing the soles of the feet in towards your bottom, and then just drawing one knee, then the other knee in. Just give your legs a little squeeze. Exhaling, the feet land back down on the earth, and then just rolling onto one side. And then using that top hand, helping you to come all the way back up. So we're going to counter all of those forward folds with a back bend. So we'll take our bolster just to the back of the mat, and if you don't have a bolster, that's fine. If you have blocks, you could always create a bolster where you have one block at the back, one a little bit further down. So you've got this kind of T shape that you could lay over. So both options. And then another option. So first that I'd like to offer is full saddle. So that's where we come to either sit on the heels. You might be someone where if you have a little bit more internal rotation of the femur, your heels might be to the outside and your bottom might even touch the ground. So starting to lean back, and you might even just stay up on the hands. This is still a nice back bend, or coming all the way down onto the bolster. If this is not accessible for your body, for your knees, then you can still get the lovely benefit of the back bend by either just having your legs extended out long and coming back, or you could even have the soles of your feet together, knees falling out in more of a butterfly shape. So from wherever you are, we're looking for the compression in through the lower spine. We're getting an opening through the chest. And if you are in full saddle, feeling quite a bit of sensation through the hip flexors and the quads, even in through the knees. over the next couple of breaths, we're going to transition our way back up. And taking your time to move props to the side. And we'll come to lay down again on our backs. Take one hand and place it on your belly, one hand and place it on your heart. Feeling the rise and the fall of your belly and your chest as you breathe. And let's start to bend the knees, bringing the soles of the feet in towards the bottom. So we're going to move into a twist, and I'd like to offer a figure 4 type twist. So we'll take the right ankle and place it on top of the left thigh. And then from here, just shifting the weight of your hips a little bit to the right, and then allowing the legs in this shape to fall to the left. You could take your left hand and reach for the right ankle. You can let your head fall over towards the right if you want to bring the twist into the neck. So this is a nice way to target the outer right IT band, piriformis, glute. If this is too much sensation or you're not comfortable in the knee, you could take more of a traditional twist and just let the knees stack. That's always an option. Still getting sensation in some of those areas. This might be a nice time to check in again. How are you feeling physically, emotionally, energetically? And not labeling whatever has come up as pleasant or unpleasant. We're just practicing being the observer. So the more we observe, the less attached we become to the stories that we tell about ourselves. Takes away some of their power. We'll release, using the core to draw the legs back to center. Releasing both feet down onto the earth and just letting the feet walk a little bit wider, allowing the knees to fall together. We'll bring the knees apart. And this time the left ankle comes onto the right thigh, moving the hips a little bit to the left. Option to take the twist with the figure 4. So the right to the right, Holding on to the left ankle with your right hand is an option. And if too aggressive feeling, you could always just stack the knees. Letting the tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. The jaw softening, relaxing your neck and your shoulders. Let's release from the twist on this side. Coming to stillness again in a constructive rest shape with the legs. Or maybe you want to hug the legs in, move into a happy baby. So we'll move into just one last shape, another back bend, another opening for the front of the body. So you could come into a supported bridge with a block, or if you want to use your bolster, you just lift the hips up and then place the bolster near the base of the spine. And in your supported bridge, you could have your knees bent. You could always start to walk the legs out a little bit longer. Again, compressing the lower back, lower spine, but then creating this nice opening through the abdomen and the hip flexors. You could even take your arms up overhead. Let's bring our arms down by our sides if they're overhead. Walking the feet back in if they're extended out long. The inhale draws the pelvis up towards the sky, and then using the hands to move the bolster or the block to the side. Exhale, the hips lower down like they're moving through molasses. And it's normal that the lower back could feel so sensitive. So just resting in stillness, just for a couple breaths. And when you're ready, we'll bring one knee and then the other knee in. Wrap your arms around your legs. Give yourself a big hug, a big squeeze.
thanking yourself for giving yourself the gift of self-care. And then releasing, extending the entire body, letting yourself take up lots of space on the floor. Remembering that the more time you take to refill your cup, to take care of you, then all of that wonderful energy is going to spill out into the rest of the world, into the rest of your relationships. To my dear yogi friends, thank you so much for sharing your yin practice with me. If you have the time, please stay here in corpse as long as you like, or even coming to a quiet, seated meditation. And I look forward to practicing with you again soon. Namaste.